What up, y'all? It's your dude, Born Shining here. I'm Born Shining, you're Born Shining, we's all Born Shining. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. And if they do, they're probably trying to sell you something. I want to give a shout out to the Universal Life Force, great creator, spirit which moves through all things. I want to give a shout out to Raw. I want to give a shout out to Jesus and the Ascended Masters, the Archangel Squad, my spirit animals, spirit guides, ancestors, crossover loved ones, all my friends, seen and unseen, known and unknown. Um, this one, you know, talking about homeless, the homeless population, and you know, as I'm kind of around these folks more and more, um, I learn to love them. You know, I mean, they're people, and so they deserve love, but I not just love, but like respect. You know, because it takes a lot of respect. They're committed, bro. I'll tell you what. And everybody's, homeless. I don't even like using that word because to me, if you're alive on this planet, you have a home. Earth is our home. They're houseless or dwellingless or shelterless, but we're not homeless. So, but, I got mad respect for these folks. And also, just going to say this might cut out. So, it is what it is. Running out of space on the old phone here. But yeah, these folks are committed, and everybody's in this situation for different reasons. Some people just can't manage to keep it together psychologically to hold down a job or whatever the case may be. But a lot of these people uh, are they're just regular people. They just don't want to be a part of all the bullshit, you know. And if you think homelessness, again, I use that term because it's kind of we know what it means. We use it in a way that it's like it identifies a group of people that live on the street or whatever. You know, like I said, we all have a home. Uh, but if you think homelessness is like a new thing, it ain't. It's not new. Um, there's a great book by Tom Brown Jr. It's called Grandfather, and in that book, there's a Native American man who walked across North and South America on foot, and he came across the city of Chicago long before it was like a hustling, bustling city. It was in its infancy, and he came across people that were ostracized from society back then. So it's not a new phenomenon, people falling through the cracks. And you have to ask yourself, how how advanced can a society be if there's people that are purposefully or what intentionally or not, you know how is that how can that be called a success? How can that be called uh, advanced when there's people in this culture and society who are sleeping on the street or digging in dumpsters for food, you know, maybe by choice, maybe not. And that's happening right next to a restaurant where they're throwing food in the dumpster. How can that be? How you call that a success? That's not a success to me. That's egregious failure, you know. And especially as I look around at the space and the way that things are being used, it's like, why does anybody have to buy food? You know, I mean, there should food should be free. It definitely could be. You know, I mean, maybe shelter. That's another topic. I don't think that that's too far off to have a basic minimum housing for people, at least a shelter of some kind. But food, I mean, if you look around and look at all the space, if you don't think it's possible, then I urge you to go and take a permaculture course. Go look at permaculture. Go look into permaculture, and you see what's possible, what you can do with the space that's available. You can find native plants that'll grow in the climate with little to no effort. They thrive in the climate that you're in. They exist, and there's all kinds of ways to set it up so that these plants will survive uh, all year round. But there's definitely no reason for people to be going hungry on this planet. That's a ruse, you know. And all of those organizations that are taking money to feed the homeless or feed the hungry people in fucking faraway lands. Like, come on, man. Come on. It doesn't make any sense. There's so much food on this planet. Like, there's enough food to feed everybody right now today. It's not a question of if there's enough. It's a question of distribution, and is it a priority? And it's not. I mean, how can an organization like the United Nations, all right, 100 and some odd countries, can't figure out the how to get food to people? This government in the United States pays farmers to get rid of food. They pay them to not grow stuff. What's up with that? You know, like when you really start to look around and you see how what's happening underneath in the shadows and in the details of all of this stuff, none of it really makes a lot of sense. And it's really frustrating. Like, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to go through my whole life and not talk about this stuff. It's not going to be like this forever. I can tell you that. I guarantee you that. It ain't going to be like this forever. All right? But the first part is admitting something can be improved. And, people who are telling you that there's nothing they can do about it, they either don't have the brains to do some research and find solutions, or they know the solutions and they're profiting off of your ignorance because you don't know the solutions. And if you don't know the solution, it's like if you don't know how electricity works, how are you going to hold your electrician accountable? If you don't know how your car works, how are you going to know that your mechanic did a good job? You know, you got to know stuff, at least a basic bare minimum of things. You have to know certain level to hold people accountable and to make sure that you're getting what you pay for. You know what I mean? And if you're not getting what you pay for, then you probably should put in, invest somewhere else. And money's energy, but so is affection and love. It's just like that in the same thing in our interpersonal relationships. Like, if you don't love yourself, how do you know when somebody really loves you? Until it's like if you don't know what there is to love about yourself, how can you expect somebody to love you? What do they love? What do you love? You know? What do you love about yourself? And once you figure that out, then you can start realizing, like, oh, this person just likes this part of me. And so maybe I'm not going to give uh, my whole cup to this person, you know? Or this person only uses me, they only say this, you know? So it's just awareness and education, which, for as advanced as the United States is, apparently, as developed as we are, I'd say we're pretty underdeveloped. You know what I mean? I mean, I've heard it said that, like, in tribal cultures, the average person has like a PhD level awareness of their environment, their local environment, the plants and all of that kind of stuff, flora and fauna. Do you think that that's true in the United States with public education and all of this kind of stuff? I think we all know the answer to that one. You know, I mean, people can tell you, they can tell you all kinds of information about nonsensical, dumb shit that doesn't fucking matter. Like I said, baseball statistics and fucking NFL fantasy football shit. But they don't know anything about nutrition. They don't know anything about ecology. They don't know anything about anything, for the most part. You know, and to me, it's like, what kind of world do you want to live in? And for me, it's like my world is getting better every day, even though I can see all of this stuff and I'm surrounded by all of I'm surrounded by this matrix in my world. I'm not attached, my options are not limited by what these people are telling me. You know what I mean? I'll make my own opportunities based on my creativity and uh, my faith and my optimism. And my education, my awareness is going to bring opportunities. And it's not even brings it, it's just I see it. There's so much opportunity. It's like an abundance of creativity and abundance of opportunities. There's there's no reason for this. This is just unnecessary suffering. It's unnecessary um, oppression. It's like they're holding the world hostage. But if you don't know what's possible, then you wouldn't you wouldn't be able to see that. You know, it's like if you don't know that it's possible to use space better to grow a bunch of food, then you're not going to see that. Um, so yeah, I don't know, just some thoughts. But more to come. All right, love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.